Good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. It is Wednesday, middle of the week. We are at June 20. I'm looking at June 19th, which means today is a federal holiday. And if you hadn't thought about this, this is going to catch you off guard. If you're banking, things like that, banks are going to be closed. I think county and city offices will also be closed. A holiday, so Juneteenth is here. So if you were planning things will probably move a little bit slower than expected. If it caught you off guard, it's easy, even the 4th of July, I sometimes forget and go to do something and you can't get it. So it'll be extra businesses or government offices closed today. Plan around that. As we get ready for today, we start today out, wait for a high of about 92. We don't want you to miss this morning's morning show. It kicks off at 7 o'clock where we'll get into local events. Folks, there's no other way to word this. We have tragedy in Lauderdale County. We'll talk a little bit about what we can tell at this point. Sadness, as our hearts are broken for what's going on. We'll have those stories and many, many more coming up at the top of the hour. Please join us. We'll discuss a few things. There is another big thing we want to know about. If you've got your church is having a vacation Bible school, please let us know. It's important that we get as many kids to church as we can. I know there's some going on this week, some more kicking off next week. Inbox us if we haven't posted that yet. We need to make sure that word gets spread around everywhere we can, don't we? Speaking of that, of good words and all, let's go to Collinsville now. First Baptist, they got a little message they want to share with you this morning.
Do you know someone who just always seems to be happy? I spoke to a group of Sunday school leaders this past week, and there was this one lady sitting in the back of the room who had a smile on her face the entire time I was speaking. I mean, it was a big smile. Now, there was another gentleman off to the side sleeping, so I know what I had to say was not altogether tremendous, but this one lady just seemed to have a constant joy in her heart. Proverbs 10:28 says, "The prospect of the righteous is joy, but the hopes of the wicked come to nothing." The righteous are those who are right with God in relationship. Those who are in that position have reason for constant joy because of the hope they have in what God gives both now and in the future. There's a reason to be glad. The wicked represent those who are lost and far from God. They may think they have reason for hope and that they don't need God, but nothing can be further from the truth. The hopes of the wicked amount to nothing. Sure, they will experience the general goodness of God, but they have no hope in eternity apart from a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. If you don't know Him today, trust in Him. It's only in Him that you will find the joy that you long for. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. And welcome back. I hope you found something good out of that. Messages are always good from when they're up above. Already 6:34 as we begin this day today. MSNBC, do y'all know what I'm talking about? Their headquarters. I don't always understand what are in people's minds or if there is anything in their mind. As we look at this, outside their headquarters in New Jersey, a woman was walking out. She was attacked. She was stabbed multiple times. I'd tell you his name, but, well, I can't pronounce it. It's very long, and I have no clue what it is. We have people within our own country that attack for no reason. Now, there's regular names also out there, but this is one of those that I literally would slaughter if I tried to say it. He's been arrested, and we hope she makes a full recovery. This is sad. I remember one of the first times that I remember his name, they kind of played tribute to him. And what was Charlie Sheen, the Major League? Major League. Willie Mays has passed away at the age of 93. Of course, a great baseball player passes away. We pass condolences to his family, a major leaguer there in the Hall of Fame. Big news there. Let's see, one of the best ever, as they put there. Do you remember the young man that was in Nashville, Riley Strain, that disappeared, and they looked for a few days, and then they would eventually find him in the Cumberland River? The autopsy has come back. What caused it? Two things: intoxication, and he drowned. So apparently stumbles, falls in. That's bad for the family all the way around. But at least we know what went on with that. Now, as you're thinking there, is it one of those billboards in the background that's going to happen with this one call that's all? Will they go after the bar that turned him off? They say that when he walked in, he had one unruly and they cut him off and told him to get out. Will they go after a bar? We often see things like this to where people do. And I want to be as open as I can about that opinion-wise. As you look at this, they're not your babysitter. You number one, you were the one partaking of alcohol. And again, I don't know that they're going to do that. That is speculation. I just see it so many times across America to where somebody sues someone else for their own fault. Y'all have seen that. Spill coffee on yourself, sue the thing, and it's hot coffee is when you order it. It makes no sense. What is the problem? Judges. Things like that, in my opinion, should be thrown out immediately as soon as they appear before the judge. Out, gone, you can't do this. And it would free up a lot of time. Small thoughts there. This one I really get confused over there, Odie, as I look at Seattle Police Department. I think this guy was the head of the department, if I'm not, the police chief, Adrian Diaz is his name. He's been accused by 4 women for sexual harassment. Now, keep in mind what I'm fixing to say. He's married with children.
He gonna die.
But he says, couldn't be me because I'm gay. Okay. That's what he said.
I can.
We'll leave that one alone and move to our next story there. Do you remember that this has been making the news for the last couple of days? The Florida plastic surgeon his wife died on the operating table. I think she was actually sewing herself up. They're going to be charging him with a homicide. She passed away on his operating table. She was obsessed with getting more surgery and more surgery. He waited where he gets into trouble on this to call 911 when she passed away instead of seeking help quickly. That is all the way around wrong. You've been through an airport, have you not? People go through your things. They look at everything you have. What goes on behind the scenes as it goes by? Well, we now know that the Customs and Border Protection officer is pleading guilty. He's taken about $18,000 worth of things that was not his out of suitcases and backpacks. I'm sure that is on the mild side of what really goes on that you don't know. Because you're not going to look in your bag. You get to where you're going and then it's missing. How did it come up? You have no clue. There's a lot of that goes on. This is peculiar. Again, we don't hear a lot about Vermont other than Bernie Sanders. They do have Republicans and Democrats there. The story that we're about to tell you comes from the House. You have a Democratic... I can't believe adults would do this, is why I giggle when I say this. Democratic House member hangs her bag, I think it's a her, hangs her bag on the little coat rack. Well, each day she gets to go home and it's full of water. This goes on and on until a camera is finally set up, and yep, you guessed it, it's the Republican senator down the hall taking water and filling the bag up. Adults, people, that's just bad. Now, the Republican that did it had to stand before the House and say, I'm sorry, I did do this.
It's time to go home.
And Mary Morrissey, and did I pronounce that Morrisse? Morrissey had to publicly apologize to a man, Jim Carroll, who it was his bag that the Republican woman was doing this to. I mean, how petty can you be?
She doesn't have the morals to hold that position.
Yeah, she does not need to hold that office, as Odie just said there. If you do something like this, you're not fit for office. That's childish, it's petty, and you need to go home. You're not a representative of mine, especially if I lived in that state. That would rattle my cage. Millie, good morning to you. Miss Joyce is up. I'm glad to see her. Lavelle is joining us. Also, Sheila. Bob is up. Getting a smile on there. Let's see here. This is neat. I never had this urge, but there are people that want to do this after they've retired. They think, wow, I'd like to go back to college. Some do it. An 83-year-old has finally earned her degree from Stanford. That's wonderful. I'm glad people do that. It's just not my thing. When I got out of school, I thought, whoa, am I glad to be away from there. This one gets complicated as you get into what's going on across America. Someone spending time behind bars 40 years. A judge has ordered the release of a Missouri woman. Now, as you get deeper into reading this, she did confess to the murder. But the best I can tell is she's not mentally stable. And I think they took it at her word that she did do this, and as they look at this, maybe she didn't. Lawmakers are urging them, and this kind of hits home here, not to release because there are a lot of problems going on while this person's been in prison, threats, and they feel that they're a threat to society. Did she do it? I don't know. I think the only evidence that they have is the confession of I did do it, but they're saying she's not mentally stable. That's sad. And it looks as though they may have a suspect that actually did it 40 years ago. The things that go on behind closed doors. But what do? Release them, and then we have other trouble, as we did in Meridian? Good morning to Union. Irene, glad to see you joining us. Also, we got your forecast and a lot of things coming up. Won't you join us? Stay with us. We'll go over that weather forecast next to let you know how hot it's going to be today. That's next here at the Scotty Ray Report.
The Preserve at Meridian is the premier senior living community in the Meridian area, offering independent living cottages, assisted living, and maintain their independence and pursue an engaging lifestyle with a robust activities calendar, personalized care programs, wellness activities, restaurant-style dining, and much more. Call or visit us online today at preserveatmeridian.com to schedule your personal tour.
Believe it or not, 74 already. It's dropped a little bit. When I got here at 4, it was 77 degrees, so it's dropped just a little bit. You know it's going to be hot when you start out the day at 4 o'clock at 77. Have mercy, have mercy. As we look at radar, let's pull up radar to give you an indication of what today is going to look like as it updates there. Here we are. We got some showers way out to our southwest there as we look into Alexandria, back in Lufkin, Texas. Showers in that area. Today, not so much in our area. We do have a sprinkle north of Vicksburg there on Highway 61 and a little bit there through Arkansas. Our forecast pretty good today as we look for a high of 92. Kind of impressive, isn't it? It's going to get hotter by the weekend gets here. Don't forget, we're looking at 99 to 100 Fahrenheit this weekend. So we'll see heat index jump. Let's get into that forecast now.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
As we pull that up and I hit the wrong button, isn't that just great when I do that? Let's go back for our record highs and record lows. 1953, we had 102 today. Back in 1899, many a year ago, it was 54 was the low. As we look at today, as we said, 91 to 92 is the best we're going to get. To the south, we could see showers even around Hattiesburg, Brookhaven. A chance of there. The eastern side, East Mississippi, looks as though it'll be partly sunny for most of the day. High 91, 92. Philadelphia should see 90. And we'll follow it down from Greenwood down the Mississippi River down to Natchez. Not a lot of change there from 90 to 92 degrees. Pretty much the same there. As we go east into Alabama, we'll see that Demopolis holding steady at 91. Even warmer in Tuscaloosa, Birmingham. Should be 91. Auburn, 89-ish today. Not bad at all. Let's see here what we've got. Warm weather. It's coming. It's going to stay for a few days as we look at this 7-day forecast. As we pull up today, 70 tonight. Mostly cloudy. Some periods of sunshine popping through. That's pretty good there. 92 on a Thursday. But look at these temperatures as we head into the weekend. As we'll see Friday. Now, again, this could still climb up a little bit more. 95 expected. Saturday, 98. Sunday, 100. And that's on my radar. I want to say that I've even seen it a little bit pushing higher than that in other areas. We'll see somewhere around 98 on Monday, and we should see 96 on Tuesday. And we do get those rain chances moving in on Monday afternoon and into Tuesday up to a 50% chance. So there we are. As we move across, we go another week there. We're in the mid-90s all the way through July the 3rd. That means July 4th right around the corner as we look at this. Not bad at all there. Now, fishing forecast. It calls for today. Here we are. Major time to fish today is 11 a.m. till about 1 p.m. is what we'll have. Another major time will be way after dark. We'll have great fishing at around 11:30 to 1:30. Now, minor times this afternoon around 3 o'clock as we get into the fishing forecast through about 5 o'clock as we come across. Enjoy it. Now, there's a lot going on when it comes to the tropics. What we have here is 3 different systems that are moving about. As we look out here to the east off of Florida and the Atlantic, a 20% chance of something developing here, as you'll see there. We've got another storm trying to develop. It's a 30% chance there. But look, we've got a tropical storm already. Now, this is going to turn west and go into Mexico. It's moving on at 40 miles an hour, gust of 52, moving about 8 miles an hour at 998 millibars. So that's what we've got going on in the tropics. We'll watch this one to see what this does. Again, it's a 30% chance over the next 2 weeks of developing into something, the next week rather. Getting a little ahead of myself, aren't I? But one is going to turn and go in. As a matter of fact, let's look at radar and let me show you that, how that will turn about as we go down and turn on the tropics here. Right here is what this is going to do. It's turning due west, and we'll go right into Mexico. Here's Mississippi. Here's Texas. It'll go away from us. And again, this early this morning at this point, that's all your information on that. 52 mile an hour gust as it goes due west. Not a threat to us at all, and then we'll come back out later on. That's a quick look at that as we move along today. I hope you've learned a couple of things there. Again, nice 73 as we wait for a high of 91-ish to 92. We're, 10 minutes away? Yeah, we're coming back live in just a moment. Come join us. We'll be glad you did. We've got a lot of stories to talk about. Some things that's never happened in Meridian. That's on the way. Plus, tragedy has struck Lauderdale County. There's no other way to word this. We'll get into that as the morning show gets underway. Rattles your soul as we'll find out more on this as the day begins. We'll be right back in a few moments here at the Scotty Ray Report. Join us, won't you?
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.